to the Dark Side of Soul podcast, fun size edition. This is Joe.
This is Joe.
Hey, good night, everyone.
All right.
We got something new, and this is Sean.
Yeah.
Sean. Yeah. We got something new, Joe. What's going on? What are we doing?
We are going to experiment with what a lot of other podcasts are doing, way more successful than ours. Is we're going to experiment with a smaller version of our show, but we want it to be more interactive. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about a little topic, a little current topic, and maybe a little controversial. And we want you to respond to this. And this version, our minicast, will be simultaneously posted on the YouTube, so that because we just know how more sophisticated YouTube commenters are. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, our YouTube channel, we do post videos of our older episodes as well. And if you do want to get more current episodes, well, of course, subscribe to our podcast using your podcast catcher of choice, Spotify, whatever, Apple. We're on everything. But also, if you want to see a little bit more, go on our Patreon at patreon.com/darksideofsoul. And starting just $5 a month, you get a lot of extra content, even on top of this. And you get to see what we complain and bitch about before we start recording.
Right, exactly.
All right, so Sean, what's our topic?
Yeah, so for this one, kind of our trial, maybe our beta test of doing a bite-sized, fun-size, the Dark Side of Soul fun-sized mini cast, micro.
We're stuck with that. We're stuck with that title, by the way. Now,
yeah, fun-size, Dark Side of Soul, fun-size.
We just came with it right before we hit record.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the idea is less than like 16 hours old. But so like Joe said, we're gonna kind of just do these shorter episodes about interesting topics that don't really need a whole episode. We couldn't fill a whole episode talking about certain things, but they're important. They're important topics. And the current one that's come up, actually, again, it's not really new, is the idea of changing the signboard on Gwanghwamun, the main gate of Gyeongbokgung, from the Hanja, the Chinese characters, to Hangul, to Korean.
Now, a little more context. Yeah, a little more context for those who have not been to Korea. Gwanghwamun is the main gate that you've seen. If you watched the BTS show on Netflix, well, good on you. But they did it right in front of Gwanghwamun, and which
was controversial. A lot of people don't really know that was a controversial decision.
The people who did complain about it were kind of like just the usual suspects on that one, in my opinion.
I don't know. A lot of the local businesses had to shut and didn't make any money
local businesses,
but they weren't reimbursed.
The professional protesters were complaining that they couldn't protest that day. Great. All right.
But anyway, it's the main palace gate.
Yes, and so all the gates have signboards in Hanja, in Chinese.
Yes,
because up until the 20th century, even though Hangul was created a few centuries before, it was not widely used until nationalism came about around the time that Japan was starting to try to absorb Korea as a colony. And so these days, Hangul, the Korean script, is considered a point of pride. In fact, in North Korea, everything is written in Hangul. Nothing in Chinese or English or anything. Everything's written in Hangul.
Really?
Yeah. And in the South, we're just a hodgepodge of different writing styles. Hangul, Hanja is used to be sophisticated in newspaper headlines or on beer bottles or on beauty salons. It was used on that.
Yeah, it does. But it does have purpose though. Like it clarifies meaning.
Yes, it does.
I have found that by studying Hanja, I've come to understand Korean way better. understand
Yeah.
the meaning of the words and stuff. So it does have purpose.
And we have talked about that. We do have a series of episodes on
Mm,
Korean vocabulary, the root words and the
mhm.
Chinese root words for a lot of Korean. And
Right.
yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense
It does.
because we get a lot of homophones in Hangul, and but if you write it in the Chinese, they're not they're totally different words.
Right. Right. So it helps, especially. Yeah, that's right. So it can help you really like figure out homonyms and things like that. And yeah, so it has purpose. So the root of the Korean language is Chinese. You have to
Like I would
keep that
say,
in mind.
Chinese is to Korean as Latin is to English,
Yeah, right, right. Yeah. And
or
and
French is to
so
English.
it's important. So yeah, so there's this big debate, and I have a feeling that this is kind of back in the news because of the BTS show, and it was broadcast around the world, and on on Netflix, and people watched it, and then I think they finally realized, because they very rarely think these big things through, um, that, oh, well, this is being broadcast around the world, and people were seeing the gate and they saw Chinese characters and not Korean. I think that's kind of annoyed. It's boring.
That
That's a
is the
yeah.
typical circle jerk type of stuff people talk about. It's like they really do think people care about these things.
No, they don't care.
Outside nationalists, Korean nationalists.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I go on one of my asides a bit? Something I saw on the Chun stream last night.
Don't forget, this is fun size though.
I
So
know,
yeah.
I know, but this is related to not thinking things through.
Mm-mm.
Because at the head of the stream, there's a big sign that says "No swimming or drinking."
Mm.
Okay, makes sense.
Sure.
Well, the drinking part, people drink on the Chun all the time, but no swimming in the Chun stream. Further down the stream, they're advertising the new BTS hit, and so they say "Keep swimming." All on the stream, keep swimming, keep swimming.
That's
But
the
the
name of
site
the
says
song.
no swimming.
The
Yeah, it's a
BTS song
song,
is called Keep Swimming.
something like that. I know Dory came up with it first, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
or something like that. It's a slogan. It's something BTS is doing right now. But anyway, keep swimming is all up and down Chungita stream along with the sign no swimming.
I see. All right. Well, yeah, and so it's anyway. I do think that's the main reason why this is back into the consciousness of pseudo debate, and yeah, there was like a public hearing and things like that. A public hearing, I see. Yeah.
Just doing it for our
Um,
YouTubers. This gets
right.
all over there. And then there's
Um,
this. Well, and then there's.
so
I keep going. I'm just posting. There's
yeah.
a sign that says no swimming, but you can't see. I know. Okay.
Right. So now it's not the first time that the sign has been in Korean. In 1968, when they rebuilt the gate, Gwanghwamun, when Park Chung-hee did it,
With
and made the
concrete.
thing entirely out of concrete, which you can go and see when they renovated that and tore the old concrete gate down, which was 2010. So when Joe and I first came to Korea, the sign on Gwanghwamun was in Korean, and it was the concrete gate. But you can go to the front, just outside the main entrance of the Seoul Museum of History. You'll see big slabs of the concrete gate that was built by the Park Chung-hee administration in the late 60s. But the signboard in Korean that was put up was was done. The calligraphy was done by Park Chung-hee, and it was there until it was taken down in 2010. And so, and then it was replaced with a Chinese sign. And I think it's been replaced since then with the new. I think the current sign that's up there is only like 3 or 4 years old, something like that.
Hmm.
So it's not the first time that it's been in Korean. So what are our thoughts on that? My position is that I think it just should be. I think this is a very. First of all, I do think it's because of the BTS thing. So I think the move to do it is very corporate.
Yeah.
So and I hate the idea of corporations informing what we do with our culture. We let Disney do that in the West. We let Disney corporatize European fairy tales and completely ruin them. And we let Hollywood change and corporatize views of folk traditions, like in monsters, like werewolves and stuff like that. And Korea is now letting the same thing happen to its culture. It's letting it being they're allowing it to be corporatized by the bigger industries. And I don't necessarily like that. So that's my opinion on it. So I think it just keep it the same. The alternative is to put two signs up: the traditional Hanja, Chinese character one, and a Korean one below it.
Oh, so it's like a subway sign.
Like a subway sign. That's right. So my view is that if they're going to do it, I think they should keep both.
Just put English under it as well.
Let's put
in German calligraphy.
Right. Yeah. So I think the tradition, they should just keep it as it is, because if you're going to change just that one, but not every other sign board that's on other gates, including city gates, if you're not going to change those to Hangul, then what's the point? It's a single thing then that you only want the global eyes on it. That's the only point. If the argument is genuine, it should be every single sign at every single gate all over the country should be changed to Hangul, not just this one. It's silly.
It reeks of government employee just trying to push themselves around. Besides, we just hit the annual shuffling of the government, which is usually around early March, and likely someone just got into a new position and is trying to flex their nuts a little bit.
Yeah. The what is it? The Culture and Arts Policy Research Office at the Korea Culture and Tourism Institute is one that really pushes this.
Okay.
So, but that's my view. Yeah. If you're going to do it, you have to do it with every single sign board in the country. Otherwise, just keep them the same.
My view is I'm a little more agnostic about it. Yeah, I would prefer to keep the Chinese, but the Hanja. But in the end, the only people who are going to notice are people who can read Hanja and people who can read Hangul.
Right.
In the end.
Yeah.
If it's for tourists, it's going to. No, they're too busy taking pictures in their hanbok.
They're not going to care. Yeah,
they're not going to care.
I think ultimately tourists don't care about that. There could be some feeling by the people at this institute or whatnot that they think travelers care. I don't think.
Yeah, we get this a lot. Them focusing on things that no one cares about all the time, which is why we run our tours, because we do focus on the things people care about. So that's good. Yeah, I really, my opinion is, I'd rather keep it, but if they change it, everyone's going to be upset for a couple of weeks, but then they'll just move on.
Yeah, I feel like that as well. I mean, if they do change it, I'll be fine with it. I'm completely fine if there's organic change to culture, and I've mentioned this a lot on the podcast before we were fun sized, and if there is organic change, there's been more shift and loss in heritage and culture in human history than what currently exists in heritage and culture. So if something changes organically, I'm completely fine with it, but I don't feel that this is an organic change. It feels very, like I said, corporate. It's institutionalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit icky. The idea of wanting to do it doesn't seem to come from a genuine place.
Yeah.
So I have issues with that. I have issues with that more than actually changing the sign.
I'm more concerned with them destroying Pimako, which is about to reopen. I just saw it last night. It's very close to reopening. It's a tree-lined little. It just looks like every other place. And
yeah. And that's the core thing for my interest. I don't actually give a shit about royal palaces and the lives of kings and queens. They were the elites of the past. If you don't like Elon Musk and all these people today, why do you care about the royals of the past? To me, there's a weird disconnect between that. So
true.
Yeah, Pimako, the commoner's street, that being torn down, I think is a much bigger loss to culture than changing the sign on a royal palace.
I agree.
But a lot of people are interested in the topic.
They're more interested in just cosmetic stuff than actual real stuff. It's symbolic.
Yeah.
Which I can go into so many times controversially. People who wear flag pins then care about the people behind the flag pins that they represent.
Right. Yeah. So it's an interesting thing. But what do you think, our listeners and especially our YouTube watchers, what do you think of this? What is your opinion? Do you think the sign should be changed from Hanja, the Chinese, traditional Chinese, to Korean, Hangul? Or should it be kept the same? Or should they use both? A sign, a representation of both? What do you think? Let us know.
All right, thank you.
Give us your thoughts.
Yes, give us stuff. Be as nasty to Sean as you wish to be. Okay, well, thank you for listening for our little Dark Side fun-sized edition. Also, remember you can go to darksideofsoul.com to book our tours and to get our comics and books.
Our experiences, not
experiences, storytelling experiences.
That's right. We don't run tours; we run experiences.
Yeah, tours. Who does those? And anyway, thank you for watching, listening. Until then, stay spooky.
Good night.